What is going on, everybody? What is going on? This is Caleb Harris, back at it again with another video. Please like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comment section below, man. Are you liking the content? Not liking the content? All of it is welcome. All of it is welcome. As long as it's respectful, all of it is welcome. Because we don't tolerate no disrespect around here. Why is it that so many men watch porn? Specifically, why is it that so many men of God watch porn, especially in the Christian faith? Well, I have to go with my story. I'll start with myself and use myself as an example. Okay, let's get into it. I discovered porn when I was 12 years old, man. 12 years old. And guess who I discovered it from? My own pops. He never showed it to me. I think he was at work one day or something like that. So my grandmother was doing her own thing, and she liked to sit in front of the TV and spend idle time watching Jerry Springer and soap operas, complaining and whining about how the world was so bad. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but now she battled dementia. I don't think it's a spiritual thing. I think she was just lazy, but it's neither here or there. What I'm trying to say is this, right? My grandmother was doing her own thing. Boom. So I decided, you know what? Boom, man. I'm tired of, playing with action figures, man. I'm tired of playing with action figures. I wasn't very chubby back then. No, I wasn't very chubby back then. I started getting chubby around like 15 years old. Something like that. I forgot. But yeah, man, I was just minding my own business. Got tired of playing them action figures. I was like, man, let me go through my dad's stuff. Let's see what he got. I've always been a curious guy. Always been curious. Sometimes my curiosity, I will not lie to you, it has put me in a lot of bad situations. This is an example of a bad situation, right? And I learned how bad the situation was years later, okay? But the thing about pornography is this, is that it just lures you in. So like, picture this, right? Picture me being this 12-year-old kid. You're seeing this 12-year-old kid, and he's so curious about life. He's so socially awkward. He don't fit in with nobody. His friends don't like him. His family don't like him. He's an outcast. He's like an enemy or a frenemy to people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've been isolated. I'm trapped in this apartment. I don't know where to go. I'm not making friends with anybody. So of course, I rummage through my dad's stuff. Lo and behold, it's funny now because I don't struggle with porn anymore, but I find my dad's porno tapes. And here's the thing about it, what's so funny to me, right? My dad was a pastor at the time. See what I'm saying? My dad is a whole pastor at the time. And I'm sitting down here, I'm looking at these videos, I'm seeing these half-naked black women. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm seeing these naked black women, so obviously I pop in a DVD. I start watching the videos, and obviously I like what I saw. You feel what I'm saying? I like what I saw. And I remember just for years and years and years, I had a battle with lust. Like, even in middle school days, man, like I was getting lap dances from girls. Like, me and my homeboys was playing booty tag with the girls on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? In high school, I found myself on like adult websites even more. I found myself in chat rooms, all kinds of stuff, man. I found myself just feeding into my lust, man. And I was just so miserable and so anxious. I think the only thing that really could keep me, not from just, trying to sleep around with every single woman that I saw was track and field and basketball. But when I wasn't playing track and field, if I wasn't doing basketball, I was looking at porn or I was chasing out the girls. You know what I mean? And it's just like my appetite just never got satisfied. Like, just picture this, right? You have eaten a 5-course meal. You should be full, right? Well, when it comes to porn and any form of sexual sin, you're never full. You are never full. Like peep game, man. You don't eat the protein, the carbs, and the fat. You don't have the king's wine. You don't have it all, man. You don't have yourself a feast. But now you desire more. That's how addiction is, man. Addiction always wants you thriving and wanting more because you are never satisfied. So what does this have to do with men of God watching porn? Well, a lot of men watch porn because they ain't never satisfied. They're never satisfied. And also, we got to have a conversation, man. I was debating if I was even going to go here, but since I'm in the spirit, I'm just going to go with it, man. Spirit just told me to say it. So yeah, man, I was touched inappropriately as a kid. So I told you how I got exposed to porn. That is true. At 12 years of age, I got exposed to porn, saw my dad's tapes lying around, and I watched them. Okay? But back when I was like 9 or 10 years old, I was getting touched inappropriately by my female cousins. Okay, I know it's a lot of information, but I say all this to say, not to have you all up in my business, but I say all this to teach you. Okay? I've always been a teacher from my personal experience. That's how I teach. But yeah, man, like I may have a whole lot of information. Like I got all these books, you know, Transforming Stress, Men Inspiring Men. This is a collaboration that me and a couple brothers did. And I got this book called The Way of a Disciple. I'm reading Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I have a lot of information, but what am I trying to say? I wasn't really going to go here, but you know, I found myself in the spirit. So I told myself, you know what? I'm just going to say it out loud. I remember your boy was getting touched inappropriately around 8, 9 years of age. You know, my female cousins touched me inappropriately. Okay? I'm not going to go into detail about it for obvious reasons. And even when I was younger, I saw abuse as a kid, right? Like my mom and my dad got into really bad physical altercations. You know, it was crazy. Like I almost saw my mom die. You know what I mean? And it's like peep game, right? Let me paint you the picture. I just took you about where I was when I was 12. I'm going to take you back to when I was like 6. 6 all the way through 12 years of age. We're going to start from here all the way to here. I've already explained bits and pieces from you, but I want to summarize this and be like this. From 6 years of age to 12 years of age, nothing made sense. Nothing made sense to me. Because I couldn't realize why we were believers in Christ, going to church, and touching each other inappropriately. It didn't make no sense to me. You feel what I'm saying? It made no sense to me. So like when people told me about God and told me about religion and told me about church and things like that, it never made any sense to me. I was just like, what is this? Like, what is God? What is Christianity? What is this kind of stuff? So I'm gonna be honest with you, like as I got older, we'll skim through all the way till I'm like, what age do I want to start off with? I'll start off with 19, yeah. 19, like my porn use just got even worse. You know, I started looking at it more and more and more and more and more. And then I'm at bars, I'm at strip clubs, now I'm drinking, now I'm smoking, now I'm taking drugs. I'm doing all this stuff. You know what I mean? I finally quit when I'm 24. But like I'm 24, finally quit all that kind of stuff. And then as I get older, like my appetite just could not stop for lust. Could not stop for lust. And what I had to realize is like the only thing that could curb that appetite was having a spiritual awakening with God. I remember just so many nights I would just pray and I would fast. But just most importantly, I had to just go cold turkey. I would watch semen retention videos, no fat videos, and I had to be open to the information. I had to be open to the information, and I don't want to say I put Christianity to the side, but for lack of a better word or phrase, yes, I had to put Christianity to the side for a little while. And I had to just say, you know what? Like, look, listen, like, I got to be logical here. I got to use my common sense and I got to use my brain because I'm tired of this, man. Like, I am tired of this. So how I quit watching porn, how I quit doing drugs and doing all this crazy stuff that I was doing, it was a combination of my faith in God, spirituality, logic, and common sense. So that's how I quit. So going back to why so many men of God watch porn. Well, if you've been listening to this story, you caught up on a couple of themes. If you've been paying attention and using your brain and focusing in on what I had to say to you. The reason why so many men of God have been watching so much pornography is because they have undisclosed sexual trauma. They don't know who they are. They're socially awkward. They have a misunderstanding of the Savior. You understand? Just imagine battling all 4 of these things that I just told you. Do you know what that does to somebody? Mentally, physically, and spiritually? Like, it's crazy, bro. I've always been an observer. My whole entire life. I naturally am not a talkative person. I am introverted by nature. But when I have topics like Sex, drugs, alcohol, basically sobriety, recovery, mental health, food, mental illness, things like that, or God and Christianity, I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say. Like a lot to say. Maybe too much, honestly, if I think about it. Sometimes I got too much to say. But like, what am I trying to say, man? In all seriousness, so many of us have gone through so much pain and turmoil, so many trials and tribulations. And we looking at God like, why am I going through all this? Like, I thought you loved me. And then what ends up happening? So many of us men, we gravitate towards pornography. You know what I'm saying? Because we're looking for that love and attention and affection. It's not just surface level. I got into one argument with somebody on the internet like a couple years back. They're talking about, guys just looking at this because they're just horny. I'm like, no, bro. Like, a lot of them have been touched inappropriately. A lot of them didn't get a lot of love, attention, and affection from their own family. So just like any drug, like porn is a drug. Like whatever it is, people have called it a habit, an addiction. I call it an addiction. That's what I call it. I'm not debating this with people. To each his own. It is a drug. And just like drugs, as someone who used to take drugs himself, you are always looking for the next high. And you're never satisfied. You're craving more and craving more and craving more. Now, peep game. Picture this. Now you're this man of God. Now you have become a pastor. Now you're married. You're having kids and this, that, and the other. But that lust, that craving, and that desire has not gone away. You guys are, for lack of a better word, I don't want to get too inappropriate around here, but you guys are experiencing each other. We'll say it like that. You are experiencing one another. You understand? Here's the thing. You're not satisfied. So you want more. And now she catches you looking at this stuff. And now you and her are butting heads because you told her, oh, I'm done with it. Oh, I'm done with it. Oh, I'm done with it. The reason why so many men of God cannot be done with pornography is because they have not laid it at the cross. But most importantly, they have not gotten to the deep-rooted issue. Okay? Like, yes, I believe in prayer. I believe in fasting. But I also believe that there's a lot of religious trauma that so many men have gone through. So much misunderstanding of what I said earlier of who God really is. God is not this evil dictator. So many of us as men, we do so much, especially black men. Yes, I'm going there. We do so much to try to make everybody around us happy. Like, we do so much to make everyone else around us happy instead of making ourselves happy. The reason why we do so much to make everyone else around us happy is because we believe, truly deep down inside, we have to fix everything. See, the problem with a lot of men of God, black, white, whatever the case may be, many men of God want to fix the problem because they are unknowingly leaning upon their own understanding. That is the problem. Somebody tell me I'm lying, but that is the problem. That is the problem. Many men want to be God. You understand? Many men think that they are God in the flesh. And I don't practice that. Nope. I don't practice that. I am a man of God, but I am not God himself. No. No, I am his messenger. Okay? I am the mouthpiece. I am a teacher. I can even fancy myself as a spiritual advisor. But nah, I'm not God, bruh. I'm not God. And I dang sure ain't perfect either. I'll tell you that right now, baby. I am definitely not perfect. But that's what I realize. A lot of men cannot crucify all of themselves to God. A lot of men have never addressed the feelings, the emotions, the hatred, the times that they didn't feel loved with somebody that's close to them. So now they bitter, they nasty towards people, they choose unforgiveness, they want to mean mug everybody, they got trust issues, and believe it or not, this is all justified. Oh yeah, it's all justified. I'm not saying you should stay in that state. That's not what I'm trying to say. Don't mishear me. But people go through things. And with things like religious trauma, being in these religious institutions, being around these poor teachers. I mean, there's people out here that are pastors that are having sex with little boys and little girls, grown women, grown men, living a double life. Simply just because they're either touched inappropriately, they couldn't bear their burdens to anybody else, and they believe that here in America, they have to be God himself, or at least very, very close to being God himself. And that's a lot of pressure on a man's mind. You understand? He puts all this pressure on him, puts all this weight on his shoulders that he never needed to do, carries all these burdens that he never needed to carry. You understand? Carries all these burdens that he never was supposed to carry, and he spazzes out. And it's just like an addiction. Like any kind of addiction, right? Like any kind of an addiction. If you don't have a community to talk to about this, if you don't lay it at the cross, if you don't choose forgiveness, if you don't choose to forgive those who hurt you, if you don't choose to have those uncomfortable conversations, if you're not choosing to be your authentic self, you will always play a character. So many men are so scared to truly be themselves. And that's the issue. Look, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I think that some men who are pastors, this is just my personal theory. Some men who are pastors, let's just say your pastor struggle with a sex addiction. The truth is this, some men should just never be pastors. Just never be a pastor. Because the truth is this, is that here in the American church, we judgmental, man. We are extremely judgmental. That's just the way we are. So if you messing up, you not making things happen, and you screwing up all the doggone time, here's the truth about it. You will be judged, ridiculed, hated, and even thrown out the church just because you made an oopsie or just because you made a mistake. And the truth is this, your pastor probably needs therapy. Your pastor probably needs counseling. Your pastor probably needs coaching because he was probably touching appropriately, not justifying his behavior, not justifying his porn use, but all I'm saying is this. People are human beings out here, man. One thing I cannot stand in Christianity is that everybody loves to sit down here pointing fingers at people. This person, this person, this person, this person, this person. Love to point the fingers at everybody, but don't never point that finger back at them. You understand? People are out here struggling, keeping all these secrets, been touched inappropriately, and they need actual support. They need somebody to help them. They need to learn and understand their behaviors. They need to find their alternatives. But most importantly, they need people that they can talk to. That's it. They need people they can talk to. So many men of God have been saying this over and over and over and over and over again. It hurts my head, even being a coach in this field. So many men of God have always said, God will take care of it. God will take care of it. Lord willing. Oh, well, I'll get back to you when I get back to you. Being a man of God, many men of God will rely on their flesh. They are trying to fight a spiritual battle with their flesh. And they're going to lose every single time. Every single time they are going to lose. And the reason why they're going to lose is because you cannot fight a spiritual battle with your flesh. You have to put it in God's hands. And I get it. A lot of us, we don't trust nobody. We don't trust nobody. We've been screwed over by a lot of people. So we deal with betrayal trauma. You understand? So now we don't want to tell nobody nothing, which makes it even worse because you have to let somebody know something. That's why they have support groups. Now, people say they work or they don't work, but somebody needs to be able to hold you accountable. That's the main point I'm trying to drive home here. So when no one knows your life, so when no one knows what you're going through, so when no one knows what's up with you, you hide all these things. What ends up happening is this. You end up becoming a double-minded man with unstable ways. And it's happening to a lot of men. That's why a lot of men who struggle with pornography, they try to be perfect all the time. They try to always say the right words. They always go above and beyond for everybody because they believe if they work harder, they'll get rid of the porn addiction. Let me tell you how you get rid of porn, right? Let me tell you how you remove porn from your life. You got to be practical, man. You got to put some kind of a blocker on your phone, some kind of blocker on your computer, and that's not even enough. You need accountability. You need to go to the support groups. You need to go to the meetings, and you tell them what you believe God wants you to tell them. Also, your prayer life got to be up here. You got to pray even if you don't want to pray. You got to fast, okay? Not just fasting from food, not just fasting from alcohol. You have to fast from social media. You got to fast from TV shows, movies, whatever the case may be. If you see an old girl with the low-cut top, that means you don't watch that movie or TV show. You understand me? You don't follow that girl, nothing. If you at the workplace, like with myself, when I used to work in education, I kept it cordial with these women. I didn't have no woman's number in my phone until it was like probably 1 or 3 years into my job. And I only had about 3 girls' numbers in my phone. That's about it. And I don't talk to them like that. You know what I'm saying? But I say all this to say is because I'm not trying to get you to say, oh, I should just be this extreme monk and never talk to nobody, never socialize with anybody. Come on, man. We all know that that's just not going to happen. But if you are serious about quitting porn, you got to remove anything sexual in your life. Everything. Even if it's just, you know, is this going to make me stumble? If you have that thought in your head that says, is this going to make me stumble? It's going to make you stumble. Most likely it's going to make you stumble. So you got options. Like, the options is really just this. The options could be, you know, mess around and find out, or flee from temptation. Because a lot of us as men, unfortunately, we are in these secret competitions with one another. I'm not like that, bro. There's people out here I don't really fully agree with, but as long as you follow God, as long as you're doing the right thing, I'll support you. But if you're doing the wrong thing, I ain't supporting you. You understand? You could watch all these videos all day. You could do this, that, and the other all day. Okay? You could try all these crazy little techniques that don't make no sense. But what you need is this. You need yourself a plan, man. You need yourself a plan. You got to write down your triggers. You got to write down your alternatives. You got to have yourself a behavioral change. Right here in the middle is the relapse, okay? You relapse to porn around like what, 5 p.m. That's when the average man gets out of work because you were stressed out, your boss pissed you off, or whatever the case may be. A whole bunch of feelings and emotions was going through your head. You found yourself stressed out, overwhelmed, and this, that, and the other. So boom, you got some private time on your hands, right? That's the thing about it. You can't have too much private time and too much idle time on your hands because you are always going to relapse, okay? So you had all this private time on your hands, too much idle time on your hands, and you relapse. Now we're going to take what happens after the relapse. You understand? After the relapse, now you are lethargic, you are tired, you're doubting God. Now you just don't want to do nothing. You don't know what to do with yourself. You walk around with low self-esteem. You walk around with your head all down like this. That's what happens when you are constantly ejaculating your semen to pornography. And if you're married, it's going to be a lot more harder for you to get it up with your wife. I'm just going to talk to you like a real one. Okay? Excessive masturbation messes up with your penis, bro. It does. You got to take herbs like dandelion root, sea moss. You got to get you supplements like B12, vitamin D3K2, omega-369. You understand? Start getting some zinc, vitamin D, as I said earlier, vitamin C as well. That's what I meant to say. Get vitamin C in you as well. But the reason why so many of you look so lethargic, so skinny, you can't take on any kind of challenges, you're so whiny and complacent, and no disrespect, not trying to insult nobody, but you're battling with a lot of feminine tendencies. So you're very moody, you're always so up and down, and you let your feelings and emotions always get in the way. That's why I see so many men always talking about mood, or they got me feeling some type of way, or, you know, I feel as if I should just be more expressive or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? The reason why a lot of men, they talk like that, and why they can't stay calm, and why they can't stay rational when, you know, difficult things happen in their life. And, you know, oftentimes as an observer, it's like I see people in relationships, it's like, dang, man, she look like the man and you look like the woman. It's like role reversal, man. It's like the last days. Well, that's what happens when you're constantly losing your semen, you're looking at porn, you don't command respect, you don't sit up with your back straight, you're always looking around, you're always nervous, scared, and timid, and things like that. It's because you are not on your grind. You are not on your grind. And to be fair, it could be other things as well. But for the most part, when you're always looking at porn, when you're always masturbating, and then when you're engaging in casual sex with random women and things like that, you have been knocked off your grind. And women see it, ministry sees it, your brothers and sisters in Christ, they see it, and people can just tell it. It's just, they may not specifically know that you look at porn or that you battle with lust, but they could just say, you know what? There's just something wrong with that person. There's something wrong with them. There's just something wrong with them. My spirit don't match with their spirit. I've seen it before, man. I've seen a lot of men. I could just kind of tell now, like, if a man probably deals with porn, I could probably tell. Most likely I could probably tell. Timid, nervous, scared, anxious all the time, very fidgety, battling with a lot of social anxiety, not just being like quiet as an observer, just always looking down, can barely keep eye contact, just always struggling just to talk to women, struggling to talk to people, nervous, very nervous, timid energy, always shaking around. And yeah, they make you feel uncomfortable. And it's like when you're going to a job, you're trying to get that promotion. I'm going to break it down like this. You're trying to get that job, trying to get that promotion, and here you are struggling with porn, right? You're not getting the promotion. I'm just being blunt. You're not going to get the promotion. And I'm going to tell you why you're not getting that promotion, why you're not going to advance in ministry, why you're not going to get that woman. You're scary, bro. You're just too scary. You don't take the right supplements. You're still looking at porn. You're still masturbating. You drink, you smoke, you do drugs, you smoke that little vape pen. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you look like a goofy, lame, mark, trick, or a dork. You feel? I'm just going to be real with you, okay? I have to be real with you as a man of God, as your brother in Christ. Receive this, okay? Receive what I'm saying. I'm not here to hurt you, shame you, or guilt trip you, but I want to wake you up. Yeah, sometimes it's better to be pissed off, okay? That's it. That's what I learned in life. You've been knocked off your square. Your boss sees it. That woman sees it. Listen, they see it. They see it. I'm just being blunt. And they don't want to be nowhere around you. When you put all these bad vices inside of your body and your spirit and in your mind, like, you keep yourself as pure as you can, because I've had slip-ups here and there. Yes, I deal with temptation. Yes, sometimes lust tries to attack me. Yes, I'm not a perfect man, but I do the best I can to follow God. But at the end of the day, I can only do so much. I have to literally just get out of there. That's it. Like, I go to the gym not too late in the afternoon. Like, you'll find me at the gym going very early in the morning. I just find a bunch of old women there, or a couple of women who are a little bit young, but around their 20s or so. But for the most part, there's not a lot of temptation in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best way to really make it happen anyway, because the arousal rate is very early in the morning. Sometimes it's mid-afternoon, and it really happens late at night. But let's just be honest. Let's use our common sense and our logic. If you're looking at porn before you go to bed, you're going to most likely wake up very hard and very aroused, and the average man has not realized that that's just arousal. Arousal comes, and then it goes. But how do you take the arousal and actually do something with it? You take the arousal and you transmute the sexual energy, just like Napoleon Hill said. Many men are not up for that challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, many men are not up for that challenge. And a lot of men have been used to running away from challenges. See what I'm saying? That's why so many men of God watch porn, because they're not being a man. So you got to break it down like this, right? Men of God. Let's start with men of. And then let's start with God. Okay? As a man is disciplined, focused, embraces challenges, does whatever it is that he needs to do as a man. You understand? Faces danger, temptation, whatever the case may be. Now, as a man of God, we're going to shift over here. When he has God with him, God going to continue to give him the strength, even if he don't even feel like doing nothing. God going to give him the strength to fight those battles, man, those spiritual battles. Those chains are going to be broken because he's fasting, he's praying, he's seeking God. He's taking himself away from social media. He's sitting down here reading more books. You feel what I'm saying? Reading more books, man. He's feeding his brain. He's feeding his brain because he want to get closer to God. And most importantly, he want to stay away from that porn. Like, I can talk to y'all until I'm blue in the face. But ultimately, in conclusion, this is what I'm trying to say here, right? Men of God will always continue to watch porn until they start to follow God for themselves. Don't matter what your church say. It don't matter what I say. It don't matter how much shame and guilt that is put on that man. He has to have a spiritual awakening with God for himself. He has to understand that he is not God. He has to understand that this is not about him. He needs to understand that he must follow God. Stop watching all these YouTube videos. Stop watching all this commentary and get right with God. Because so many of y'all are so confused out here. I see it. And I talk to you. You seem so unsure about yourself. And that was me. Unsure about myself, lost, confused, playing all these characters, trying to impress all these people. Now these same people who I was trying to impress, I don't give a dang about them. And I don't care if they care about me. They think I'm weird or whatever. Because I'm not trying to kiss their butt or look for their attention no more. I'm not looking for nobody validation. I'm only looking to serve God. So let's just be honest, man. There is no way that you would keep going back into 2025 over and over and over again, still struggling with porn, thinking it's just going to magically go away when you get married. That's not going to happen, bro. That's not going to happen. My suggestion is this. Get right with God today. That's how you recover from pornography. Okay? Because if you are not right with God and you are relying on your flesh and your flesh alone, you're always going to go back to porn. Every single time. So yeah, man, that's a wrap. That is a wrap. That is the video, man. That is the summary of why men of God watch porn. So thank you all for watching. Always appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. Take care. And as always, peace with 2 fingers.